I don't even know what this is. Maybe you can explain it to me as a former CIA guy. This Democrat military video where you've got Senator Elise Slotkin, who's truly terrible. She pretends to be moderate, but she's actually a rabid leftist. And Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, who's a Democrat, married to Gabby Giffords, for some reason decided to urge U.S. troops to ignore any illegal orders. Not even exactly sure what they're saying here. It feels very insurrection-y. Here it is.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Oh, Lord. Pete Hegseth tweeted out in response to this is stage 4 TDS. What are they doing?
Well, first off, it's funny. Slotkin was, like me, a CIA analyst working the Iraq issue, although we didn't coincide, or I didn't actually work directly with her. But the CIA cannot afford any more damage to its reputation than it has suffered in the last, depending who you ask, decade or many decades. But that's just the whole video, Megyn, is really an extension of that. Remember the hashtag resistance? That was the big thing in the initial Trump administration. People just saying, resist, do anything you can. And there was that guy who pretended to be, now he pops up on MSNBC as like a third tier panelist.
Yes, anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous. And people were like, if this isn't Jared Kushner, clearly it wasn't. But like, if this isn't somebody really important, this is the most grandiose, preposterous essay ever written. And sure enough, it was some preposterous stooge. And yet here we are again with people who are effectively saying, throw sand in the gears of government, do whatever you can. Now, I know what they're going to say. Oh, an illegal order, you can't follow. Okay, what's the illegal order? If there are illegal orders.
What are they even talking about? No one even knows what they're talking about.
But what I'm saying is, if there's illegal orders, tell us what they are. Tell us what the problem is. Why are you reminding us? This would be like Megyn badgering a witness on the stand. Excuse me, sir, do you know that you're under oath for the 5th time? The judge is going to be like, yeah, we all know they're under oath. What are you doing, right? It's meant to be kind of an underhanded swipe at the administration. And I also think it's their attempt to start to lay the groundwork, if you really want to know. I think that if we have a Democrat administration, heaven forbid, in 2028, they're going to try to bring effectively a war crimes tribunal together over these strikes on the narco terrorists. I mean, I think you can basically set a timer to that.
Okay. So is that what you think it is? Because I genuinely didn't know it's not an effective ad because I'm very immersed in politics and I have no idea what they're addressing. I was like, are they talking about ICE? Because they've been pushing the lie that ICE is running out there arresting American citizens. Is that what it is? Or is it the narco strikes? Is that an illegal order where, President Trump has designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations? They're trying to bring in lethal chemicals to kill our sons and daughters. I have no idea. So who exactly are they talking? Like the guys who run those bombers who are taking out those narco ships? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that their plan is that they're going to, again, do they have control of the Senate? Do they have control of the House? Do they have the White House? Right? That's going to factor into this hugely. But let's just say they take the House. They're going to really push on this issue. They are right now setting the groundwork. They think that the strikes, meaning the Democrats, the Democrat establishment, and I've talked to people who, let's just say in the national security sphere, are already seeing the rumblings of this, already seeing the beginnings of it. So this isn't just me coming up with this out of thin air. Although, again, I worked in the CIA, so I have some idea of how these things go. they are going to say that these are war crimes and that these are illegal strikes and that they're unjustified, and they're going to hold a whole bunch of hearings over it. It'll be a bit like, for Democrats, a revisit of black sites and waterboarding and oh my gosh. Now the problem they're going to run into, Megyn, I just want to throw this out there, and from your legal mind, I think you'll appreciate this a lot, is that Barack Obama droned American citizens without trial abroad, including a 16-year-old. And there was no, this was just a 16-year-old U.S. citizen. You go back to the Anwar al-Awlaki stuff, and they tried very hard not to have this out in the press, and they still pretend like, oh, well, this was something that maybe happened, maybe it didn't happen. I mean, this is what the New York Times and all these others have ended up reporting. So if you're allowed to drone American citizens who are not engaged in any active anything other than plotting, right? You could say they were plotting, like Anwar al-Awlaki. Didn't Obama set this precedent? Also, the massive acceleration of the drone strikes in parts of Pakistan, the Northwest Frontier Province, the federally administered tribal areas, Waziristan. They're blowing up people left and right, including women and children. By accident, but it did.
Which he bragged about.
But
Obama bragged about how good he was at killing people with his drones.
And exactly. And so that all happened. And so what you're going to see is they try to say, well, that's different. That was war on terror. And really, it's different because he's a Democrat. He was Obama, the sainted Obama. But I really do think that that's the plan here. And this ad is the beginning of them creating this whole, it's like no kings, war crimes. You're starting to see the beginning elements of the hashtag resistance come back together again.
So I really seriously question the effectiveness of this whole messaging, because in no way to diminish what happened on 9/11 or what happened thereafter, but we have lost more people to fentanyl in this country, young people, than we lost in 9/11 and the post years, including all the firefighters and all the military blood and treasure that we sacrificed. Like the human toll on this fentanyl crisis is beyond measure. And it's of our youngest, best, brightest, kids who have it all in front of them, who make one mistake and take a pill they thought was an Adderall that's laced with fentanyl, and they're dead. And that is what Trump is trying to get at as these Venezuelan drug ships try to come up to America and elsewhere from south of the border to poison our children. Like, find me the American who's got a long list of sympathetic thoughts on those drug boats and thinks they ought to be allowed to come here, and then we'll just see if we can catch them. Who the hell has sympathy for the people driving these boats to our border?
I think there's much broader public support, quite honestly, for these strikes than the Democrats anticipated. And on the human toll, I have a dear friend, I believe you know him as well, Megyn, Stephen Yates at the Heritage Foundation. He lost his daughter 2 years ago to fentanyl poisoning, and he was having to deal with that just last month, the anniversary
of
losing his daughter. And when you understand, when you're near somebody who suffered the direct human toll, the unimaginable loss of a family member, and as you rightly point out, fentanyl is not marijuana. It's not cocaine. This is a different thing. This is far more addictive and far more deadly than any other substance that's been part of the war on drugs ever before. And I sat in a meeting years ago with a attorney general and a bunch of his staff where they were discussing the use that the cartels make of press machines to make it seem like the fentanyl pills that are sold on the street look like the actual pharmaceutical stuff that people will take sometimes. So you think you're taking a Xanax, to your point about poisoning, but it's actually made in some vat in a lab somewhere in Mexico with Chinese precursors. And it kills the person who takes it on the first dose because there's no dosage control because it's from the cartels. But they make it look like it's from Big Pharma because people think that's safer. So that's the level of deviousness here. That's what's happened to so many Americans, and we're losing so many of them. And what we've been doing isn't stopping it, right? So that's the other part of this is we can continue to lose 100,000 Americans a year to this, or we can change the game. And that's the Trump approach.
My friend just lost her ring. She went to replace it. She realized it was a gold ring. The price of it has gone up like 25% since she bought the ring a year ago. That's because gold is on the march upward. And it is the one time of year that Birch Gold Group gives away free gold with every qualifying purchase. That's right, for Black Friday, when you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, Birch Gold will send free gold to your home for every $20,000 purchased. Gold started this year around $2,600 an ounce. By October, it was over $4,000 an ounce. Why? Global uncertainty. 2025 has been defined by trade wars, central banks are pulling from the US dollar as the global reserve currency, and military tension continues to build. Gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and if you are looking to diversify your savings, Birch Gold can help you. Plus, now through November 30th, get free gold, I say, with a qualifying purchase. Just text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and for a free info kit on gold. But your opportunity for free gold with purchase will end on November 30th, so don't wait. Text MK to the number 989898 for full details. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.